Warren Buffett cannot even time the market. It is impossible to time any market or where any stock's going to go. You can make a really good guess. It's like being at the casino. You can roll the dice and say, I'm going to get a 7, but you also might get snake eyes.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to YBI, where we discuss opinions and strategies on how to better your financial self. We are so glad to have you guys back tuning in with us. It's another week, but we wanted to hop into something pretty light. Last week, we went over everything real estate. We went over so much, and again, big shout out to all of our guests from last week and the week before that. I don't know. Shout out to everybody that's been on the show. We appreciate y'all coming out. But today we are getting into what, my guy?
How to buy a stock, how to look at it and figure out if you even want to buy it or invest in it.
So very simple steps on how to purchase stocks. We've done videos before on brokerages. So we did the whole brokerage thing. So which broker you want to use in order to purchase stocks. But now we're going to talk about the stock purchasing process itself. So I'm going to let Roman do most of that because this is kind of his realm of expertise, and I'm going to sit back and learn some things with y'all. Okay?
All right, so this is basically how we're going to do this. First, I'm like, let's pick a company, any company.
Pick a company. Let's go with Apple, my guys. My guys.
Apple. All right. So what I'm going to do this for you guys, I'm just going to show this on my screen. So if you're tuning in on Spotify, you can do this with me. I am going to actually use WeBull today for the brokerage app that we're going to use instead of Robinhood. I know a lot of people use that one, but I really do like WeBull and how the things that it kind of shows. So it allows you guys to kind of like look at this app as well, or website. You can do it from a desktop as well. You kind of see what's going on there. I'm share my screen.
So step number 1. Pick your brokerage. Step number 1 is pick your brokerage. And then step number 2, which we kind of already went into, is find the stock. Research the stocks that you want to purchase potentially.
Got you. So here we go right here. We got Apple stock pulled up here on WeBull. Right here at the bottom, WeBull will give you a whole bunch of news. So you can start reading that to be like, okay, maybe they got a new iPhone coming out, this or that or the third. So once you go in there, you can go ahead and just click on your financials to kind of start looking on where it is there. Basically, what you're trying to look for is straight up is like your P/E ratio, which is going to be your price for the share over the company's actual earnings. You kind of want, depending on, so I know in the last one we talked about like brokerages and also what kind of investor you are, where you want to fit as far as growth or value. So if like the company's growing, you probably want them to have probably a lower stock price, even where their earnings are, and have a really good ratio there. If you're seeing value there, you feel like they're going to keep growing, you might not even care if their price is overvalued right now. A lot of people we just saw in this last week or so how the tech bubble kind of had, not really a dip, but it just happened after the big rally that they had, that people started selling off a lot of their shares because they were like, well, I feel like the price went up really high, let's start selling it. Where we had like Apple do their split. We had Tesla do their stock split, which is something we'll go over actually in another video. So you can go right up in here, see like their financial estimate for their quarterly and annual, kind of determined by there where they're kind of been sitting at and actually doing pretty well. Another app that but one I feel like everyone kind of already knows about to use is checking out Yahoo Finance. I know everyone's probably got a notification from there, and if you haven't already looked on there, that's always a good spot. I don't pull all my information for a stock from one place. I always look in whatever brokerage app I'm looking at, and I also will check Yahoo just to kind of see where that is, and maybe even one other website too that I want to show you guys in a little bit here.
Bro, why you got dial-up? This joint taking forever to load, man.
That's what I was like. Yeah, why is this taking so long?
But yeah,
20 tabs pulled up. That's probably why.
Yeah. So what he's doing right now is getting into that research phase for this stock. So the same way that you want to diversify your money, you want to diversify how you're looking at stocks to purchase. So don't just go based off of one thing, but you look at WeBull, you're looking at Yahoo Finance, you're looking at the company itself. Is that a company that you feel is going to continue to grow? what were they doing in past quarters, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those things will help you to better, have a good picture of what that company is doing and what they're projected to do. So that's what he is currently doing once his dial-up gets itself together.
So right here, Yahoo Finance puts it really nice for you where you have like their market cap right there, your PE ratio, which is actually pretty good. The earnings per share ratio and everything is also there. They do have a dividend, which I'll show you guys how to look up that here. You'll also see like where kind of analysis for market researchers and experts will kind of see where they feel like it's going to go. You can kind of use those to kind of give yourself an estimate where you feel like it might be, but also just kind of go with your own research and where you feel like the company might go. Right now, they're saying it's overvalued. Some people might feel like now, especially for the long term, if that's the kind of investor you're going to be, the Apple, of course, is going to be a good hold for that. And everything's right there. So I'll usually check Yahoo Finance and also whatever brokerage app I'm using that as a combination. They have a dividend. I'm going to show this to you all. This website right here, dividend.com, is a very good website I use to kind of research my dividend for all my stocks. They do a very kind of in-depth look at just the dividend for that stock. There is a paid version of it that you can use for more information, but you also can just go right on their website and just type in the ticker symbol, which the ticker is usually 3 to, well, I can also see some of one. Maybe like 1 to 4 letters for that company. You usually can just Google it and find it out right there. So you'll see right there where that dividend ratio kind of sits. And this is something I always kind of look for is consecutive years of dividend increase. That means how many years back to back they've been increasing their dividend. I've said multiple times on this channel that I am a dividend growth investor. So I look at that company's growth and also if their dividends growing with them as well. So just saying right here that Apple's dividend has been growing on par and consecutively for 7 years straight. That's good. I usually go for companies that have also been going up for 10. I've seen companies go up for like 50 years straight on their dividend. So it's a very good thing to look at. That way you know that no matter what, where Apple's kind of stock price goes up and down, that you're going to get paid quarterly amount based on this dividend ratio and how much that dividend is. Boom. Back to WeBull. So let's say you're like, you know what? Hey, I'm liking it. Let's go ahead and buy some Apple.
Yeah, get yourself some Apple stock.
Because Zion just loves Apple.
I mean, like I'm not an Apple head, but I kind of am. But
I'm kind of saying it's like I don't. I also own.
You're not on a MacBook.
I am on a MacBook, and I also do own Apple stock because I actually think they're a very good company to invest in.
Which is why you buy their products. It makes perfect sense. Get rid of your Android.
My Android is great, okay? And also, I bought their product because if people don't know, I do a lot of audio stuff, and it's a good thing to learn in my field is to do that.
Because we're super excited about purchasing our first stock with Mint.
So there we go right there. So right here on the very home page, you have your ticker symbol already up there for Apple. So you're going to have different kinds of order types for when you actually submit your stock. Most common, and I'll actually pull this up for you here, a market order is something that's going to be something immediately, whatever the price is basically where you're going to want to buy it at. A limit order is going to be wherever you kind of set the limit for what the price of the stock is going to be. A stop order is going to be like wherever when the stock price goes to a certain specific price, it's not going to buy it there, and then or where it might buy it at that point. Most commonly, you're probably going to do like a market or a limit order just so you can kind of set where you're going to be pricing it at. So I'll have that just, I'll do market on this one, and then you're going to select your quantity. On WeBull, on Robinhood, Stash, and a few other sites, you can do fractional. On WeBull, you have to do like the entire wholesale price of it. And right now it's saying your bid and your ag, so you can just say like, your 10 day in force. It's not going to be a stop loss order. When you select that, it'll be like, okay, I want to not do it at this price, or your take profit. Let's say the stock price goes up to 132. Webull's automatically going to sell it. If it's at 108, it's like, okay, no, we're not going to deal with this. So it all depends on what parameters you're going to set. Fidelity will do this, Vanguard, any pretty much major brokerage will do this. And then you go ahead and place your order. I'm not actually going to buy it, but basically that's how you do it. You select how many you want, you make sure you got enough money in your account to actually purchase it, and then you buy the stock right then and there.
Buy one of them. Can you buy one? Because it's asking for a quantity, and it says
quantity
10.
Here is 10. So you can do one, you can do whichever. It is, and then you just place your order. After that, once it's submitted, you're done. That's really all you have to do. And then you literally, I'll show you what it looks like when a stock pretty much goes into your account from there. Let me go to mine. Your positions. So these are actually a couple I got for free from like WeBull and Viacom. But once it's there, it'll show you right then like how many you have, where it's kind of been, what the price has kind of changed since you've had it, your highs, your lows for that outcome, and almost how much you've made so far from that share. So let's see, even. So right there on top, you'll see like how much your account's valued, how much you your unrealized price and loss margin is just pretty much how much your stocks have grown since you started investing in it or whatever, your market value for there. And your overnight buy power on WeBull is basically when the stock market closes, how much money they'll kind of let you just invest during the day or night, just unrealized cash balance that is there. If you're investing on a margin, I'll tell you this, guys, right now. Investing on a margin is something that is basically investing on a leverage. You want to make sure you know what you're doing because basically you're investing on borrowed money. You can say like, hey, I want to buy 10 shares of Apple on a margin. Actually, usually about 100, but we'll do 10 for an example. You're going to buy 10 shares on Apple on a margin. What that means, they might end up giving you enough money to buy 20 shares. You end up buying 10 shares on your own money. The other 10 will come from your brokerage, which means technically you're in debt on that investment. But what you're hoping is that you're going to make a lot of money off of it to where it bounces off, and that way you can have enough money to that you'll make your profit. The brokerage will get their money back from helping you buy that, and you will just get the profit. What happens though is if you lose money on that investment, you'll lose your money and the brokerage's money that you're going to have to pay back. So definitely make sure you know what you're doing there. On WeBull,
So start simple is what he's saying.
Yes.
Don't start there. Start with buying one stock and seeing how it does, researching one stock and seeing how it does, buying 10 shares. Don't just jump in and say, you know what, I want to spend $4,000 on this one stock. Just take it one step at a time.
And if if you do end up having like $4,000 to just throw into the market, diversify it. Pick a few different stocks. I'll usually on a couple of videos, I'm gonna show you guys my actual portfolio where I have 100 stocks in there that I've already researched and picked out for that portfolio that I've been investing in for quite some time now. And you want to make sure that you kind of like look through those before you even dive right in. There's a few stock market game apps that are just on the App Store, Play Store, anything like that. And they'll be like 10, 20 grand, or you can set how much you kind of start within there, but it'll go to the real stock prices for that day. And pick those out and play around maybe for a month or two, maybe while you're trying to save up money to invest, start playing on those apps and be like, okay, I would have got paid a dividend here. I can see that this price here. And definitely, I know charts can be a little, people are like, I don't look at charts, but they tell you a lot. When you can look at a stock and say, okay, I've seen it would gone up here and went down here. On the case of Apple, it could probably go down before the new iPhone comes out, but it's probably going to go up right after it drops or something like that. you can not necessarily time the market. A very good way to invest is dollar cost averaging, which is where no matter what, you're going to invest on a schedule. And let's say you're going to invest $50 every 1st and 15th of the month, or every first, whatever. But you kind of have a set strategy and kind of invest like that. That way, no matter where that stock kind of lies, you're always getting the best price. Warren Buffett cannot even time the market. It is impossible to time any market or where any stock's going to go. You can make a really good guess. It's like being at the casino. You can roll the dice and say, I'm going to get a 7, but you also might get snake eyes. So you definitely want to do your research and be careful about it. Please, guys, leave any comments or let us know any questions about this. I can also do another video like this kind of on Robinhood or something like this. We want to know what's going on with you guys. I want to just kind of get the ball rolling on that. I want to show M1 Finance is my main brokerage app that I'm going to show you guys how to use here soon. And I think it's really good, especially for people just getting started in the market. It's a lot less complicated than even Robinhood and WeBull is too.
You heard the man. Let us know what it is that you need, and we'll get it done for you guys. But that's going to wrap it up for us today. Again, thanks, my guy, for taking the time and showing the people how to purchase stocks in a pretty simple way. Again, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, let us know. Reach out to us. We are always here for you guys, and we definitely have more content coming soon. Till next time, remember, we may be young and we may even be broke, but we are always investing. We appreciate you guys. Till next time. Peace.
For listening to Young Broke and Investing, we just want to let you know that these are the opinions of the hosts, are not meant to be the basis of any security purchases or investments. We're trying to give a little information out there for everybody, and have fun and be safe.